Well, welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. Kent Adams here. And usually, about once a year, we get a postcard from the county assessor talking about what our homes are valued at and the taxes and everything else. Guess who I have in as my guest today? The county assessor, Tom Konis, right after this.
I was homeless, cow chopping, dealing drugs. I was a meth user and almost died from sepsis. My grandparents told me about the Union Gospel Mission. I was pretty skeptical, but I was also desperate. At UGM, I found my identity. Today, I have a job, my first apartment, and I have a really big passion to give back. Real change is possible. Union Gospel Mission.
Well, welcome back. Tom Konis, our county assessor, is here. And I kid about, the last people we want knocking on our doors or coming by our homes are the assessors and reevaluating because that means our tax rates, our taxes are going to go up and so forth. I'll have to tell you, though, I've watched you since your election in this position 3 years ago.
3 years.
Right.
3 years.
It's my gosh, coming up again, fourth year, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
Have to make a decision here pretty quick.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. I love the way you approach, you and your staff. I want to give them credit too.
Yes, me too.
Okay, because you guys really look at this in the right way. You follow the law, which is absolutely essential. No favorites, those kinds of things. But you're all willing to give advice on what we can do as homeowners and so forth. And here we are. The new rates, the new assessment came out, just a week or so ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just first
And
month.
what happened between last year and this year that is really newsworthy?
Yes, my staff of 20 appraisers has added 1.3 billion with a B dollars worth of new construction in this last year, from August 1 of last year till July 31st of this year.
Wow.
Biggest
You're
total
B
ever.
as in billion.
B as in billion.
Wow.
Biggest total ever for Spokane County.
Wow. Now, what does that mean?
The biggest thing, Kent, is it means that two things. Number one, we picked up all of it that was out there. So every single parcel that was taken out, we looked at. So nobody's getting a free ride for next year. The other
Okay.
thing is it does, of course, is that just spreads out our tax base some more,
Okay.
which helps you and I with our tax bills.
So, so in trying to raise X amount of dollars, now there are more in the game paying those dollars,
Correct,
right?
correct.
So my taxes probably won't go up. They may, in some particular instances, come down a little bit, right? The amount I pay.
Some will, Kent, but I'm going to make sure yours don't go down.
Yeah,
Just,
I know that. I know that.
But the
This is a friend,
Yeah.
okay?
the municipalities are all limited to a 1% increase in their budget a year.
Okay.
So in other words, if everything stayed the same, value-wise, your taxes would only go up 1%.
Okay.
If everybody's values doubled, your taxes would still only go up 1%.
Okay.
The issue with our tax structure, the way the legislature has it figured out, is that most of the school districts are on a fixed rate. And typically right now, those are the things we vote in. 43% of the taxes on my personal house, we voted in. And they're a fixed rate loan right now, $2.50 a thousand.
Yes.
So if my house was worth $300,000 last year and is worth $400,000 this year, my taxes are going up.
Yeah.
Because of that fixed rate
Yeah.
school district levies.
But theoretically, we knew that when we voted.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's
and we want good schools.
yes.
It's not that's why we vote them in.
Right.
It's important.
Right. Tell me what unusual things are happening as your assessors go out and so forth. Must be a couple of new buildings that kind of caught their attention and so forth.
Of course, the biggest one this year was the new Amazon facility out in the valley.
Right. But that's not all about Amazon, is it?
No, we've got another new one permitted out on the West Plains coming in.
Oh,
that
wow.
will be the overnight shipping one. So
Okay.
we will be able to get our things from Amazon faster.
Wow. Okay. Those small businesses aren't going to like that.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And we need to shop local.
Yeah.
We need to We need to get off our couch.
We do.
Because we need
But
to
we also
support the
need to be able to
restaurants.
get some supplies that honestly only come from outside in right
Correct.
away too.
Correct.
Or we
And
can't
I'm,
run
I'm
a,
as guilty of as anybody.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'll go to 3 or 4 stores here and not be able to find what I want. I'll go home and click on my computer and get what I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
in 2 days.
yeah.
It is an issue.
It is. It is. Okay, how big is this one going to be out? The one in the valley is not as big as the one out, the first
Correct.
one, right?
But it's still 1.2 million square feet.
Oh, that's
it's
all.
tiny.
Yeah.
But it's not a multi-story. It's got a mezzanine.
Can
It
you
doesn't
yell
have
from one end
No,
to the other
yeah,
end?
Yes, you could have before they got in there and opened up.
Yeah, yeah. So the one that the
new one?
overnight shipping will be what size? Like the valley
I
more?
believe it's going to be more like the Valley.
Okay.
More downside. Definitely not as big as the fulfillment center out there on
right,
West Plains currently.
How are they doing getting people to work out there? Have you heard?
I have not heard specifically, but you see their ads every day
Right.
looking for people.
For people, yeah. Well, if you're going to college or you're doing some other things, it's a great job for a good wage and good benefits and all the
benefits.
other things too.
That's right.
So yeah,
No, it's, I know they'll even help pay for your college
yes.
schooling after you've been there a certain amount of time. So
I've
they've
seen
got
the
some
ad
really
where the
good
guy's
stuff.
going to be a nurse.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
More and more of that is happening these days for people who will start out what I would call a beginning job, to move things around and so forth. And obviously there's more skill as you go through. The second week is probably a lot harder than the first week. And oh, you mean I shouldn't have put it down in row 13?
Right.
But for companies to step up and help with education and more learning, we started to do that a few years ago, I think, and then of course we had the pandemic and so forth. But I'm glad to see companies, especially the larger ones that can afford to do that, stepping up and wanting people to succeed and do better.
Spokane County, through our union, has that program available
Okay,
where they will pay for
education,
for secondary education.
great.
For the employee and or their family,
Really?
including grandkids.
Oh wow! So you can adopt me, and I can get
It'd be nice if you finally got a degree in something. huh?
something, yeah, other than bad jokes. Now, I've got to ask a personal question. Do you get out there and see some of these facilities?
I don't very much anymore.
Yeah.
For 25 years, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I went out every day and appraised properties. Now I'm kind of in the loop. Of course, when they offered a tour of the Amazon fulfillment center out
You
of
said,
West Plains,
okay.
I made sure I got on that list.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to see something like that.
I was driving from the Hamilton area over by Gonzaga, coming down and over on through the U District, and I was surprised at the number of new buildings out by the U District
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Yes, and that campus is really becoming something, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
I was doubtful when they first
Yeah.
put up the first building if anything would really come of it, but it has just
Yeah.
exploded.
The first building and 3 parking spots, and
That's
you
right.
wonder,
That's
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, my youngest daughter went through her pharmacy school.
Yes, I had my
campus.
daughter-in-law who went through nursing
Yeah.
there. So, yep. And they're working on doctors and stuff
They
now,
are.
aren't they?
They are.
Yeah. That's exciting. I remember when my boss, Wendell Satry, at Washington Water Power about 30 years, talked about that, and about a center downtown for all the campuses to come together to have outreach. And I only wish he was alive today to see it. I know he saw the beginning of it and so forth, but to say, hey, let's get together and do some things with Whitworth to Gonzaga to WSU, you
To
know,
Eastern, sure.
Eastern and all of
What
that.
a great vision.
Yes. Great thing. Well, what else should we be aware of? Okay, so is our appeal time over?
The appeal time, unless you got a new construction notice, which we only sat on a little over 5,300 of those.
Okay.
Your appeal time is over for this year. You can pretty much plan on residential values increasing again next year.
Yeah.
The market is still very hot. We have very high demand and not enough supply.
Yeah.
out there. We're limited because of growth management to how many buildable lots we have.
I wanted to go there because we've talked about the housing issue and so forth, and yet so much of the building, you were telling me before we started, was housing related.
Right. 80% of the permits we did this year were
Really?
were
Really?
residential.
So that
And
solved the
it's
problem.
Usually, no, it's not. We're not even close. It's not even a drop in the bucket to what
Yeah.
we need.
Yeah. So what are some of the next steps outside of the city, outside of the county?
Growth Management Act is impacting us immensely.
Yeah.
We've run basically, for all intents and purposes, run out of buildable lots
Yeah.
available out there. There's, I believe, like 5,000 total available right now.
Right.
The numbers I saw yesterday figure that we need about 25,000.
Oh,
So we're really kind of tight on that.
Yeah.
The other thing is that we maybe need to look at the municipalities, especially need to look at their building codes and see if we can get some higher densities in areas.
okay.
You know, they do that over by Gonzaga quite a bit, where they had an ancillary dwelling, sometimes 4 or 6 unit apartment complex
Right.
behind
Right.
the house on a regular residential
Right.
lot.
Especially when you have people like at a Gonzaga where they're
Right.
walking to work or to school or whatever. It really does make some sense, doesn't
Right.
it?
The other thing is we need to free up the building code so we can do another Kendall Yards somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because they've got a high density in there, but yet it's such a walkable neighborhood. They've got the services, and that is the only one currently allowed.
Yeah, that bothers me because people keep pointing to that as something really great, and it is, and the restaurants and all of that. Yet we can't do another one right now.
Right. I just personally afraid I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because it's beautiful down there.
Yeah. Where does that level of change need to happen? Is that state or county?
That's county or cities.
County or cities?
Yes.
Okay. So we need to be a little more open to, and I think they've got a great project to
use
to
as
show
a guide-
to show as an
guide,
example.
sure.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's Jim Frank totally hit a home run.
He did.
As
He
far as
did.
I'm concerned.
He did. Well, he's usually ahead of the game
Yes, he
on
is.
so many
But
things.
But he's taken an area that was just full of blight.
Yeah,
And
no.
turned it into
Yeah.
really a showpiece for the city of Spokane.
Yeah, with the Centennial Trail running through that,
Absolutely.
the whole bit.
It's gorgeous.
The whole bit, yeah. Well, what have I forgotten to ask that the person at home right now really wants to know about?
Well, I guess probably the only thing is if you do see my appraisers out in
Yes.
your neighborhood, they will be in cars that will be marked with Spokane County logos.
Okay.
They'll have vests on. They've got IDs.
Good point.
Don't be afraid of them.
Okay.
You're welcome to come up and talk to them, see what they're doing.
Yes.
Especially now during COVID, you know, we've experienced it where more and more people are home now.
Yes.
Where, you know, for the couple of decades I was doing this, you could never find anybody at home.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, we
you
hid
will see
below
us
the
out-
we hid
yeah.
below the window.
You will see us out and about.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're just out, they're just out doing their job.
And there are some of us, because I've told you the story that I'm in a house that was built the year the Titanic sank, okay? And it still has the old boiler. Sure. It still has some knob and tube to some of the, you know, not as up to date as would be expected, perhaps. I mean, the boiler works great and all that, but it is 100 and some years old, okay, and converted to gas from charcoal and all of that.
Sure.
But it's not like many of my friends who have put in a whole new boiler and everything else and kind of kept with the times, if you will. There may be an opportunity to get some compensation, not compensation, but some drop in value.
An adjustment to the value. Absolutely.
Yeah,
You know,
because, well, compared to this one down the street, you have the same square footage basically and everything else, but your boiler is 110 years old, and yeah.
Yes, exactly. We appraise properties from the street.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
In the old days,
So-
35 years ago, the appraisers would knock on your door and
Yeah,
ask
right.
either to see it or ask you questions about it. Again, we've gone to a society where both parents are working. Nobody's home during
Yeah.
the day. And we've also been reduced in our staff so much that that's not possible. So we are comparing what the package looks like on the street,
Right.
and then comparing it to houses in your neighborhood that have
Exactly.
sold that look like it.
Yes.
So yeah, if in fact you get your notice and you think that the value is out of line,
Yes.
give the appraiser a call. Their phone number.
I take a chance of it going up, but I also have a chance at it being reduced a bit.
And either way, you'll
It'll
only
be accurate.
treated fairly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have people that call to say, hey, I only have 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. Come look. So we go out and look at it, and we find out their whole basement has been finished, and we didn't know that. So their values do go up. But we also have the other ones, similar to what you said,
Right.
or we had one just 2 weeks ago that still had knob and tube wiring.
Yeah.
Well, I mean we can't be comparing that to something that has been totally updated.
No,
So-
our bedrooms upstairs are all knob
Yeah.
and tube.
So-
Now the bathroom is rewired
Sure.
and so forth, but there's still the old
Yeah.
knob and tube.
Yeah.
And we
Which-
know what we can't put a heater on
You bet.
and those kinds of things too.
Well,
So
and you're also limited on being able to sell it.
Yes.
With that.
Yes.
An inspector would call that.
Yeah.
If they saw it. So that does have an effect then on your value. So
Right.
there are a number of things, but don't be afraid to give the appraiser a call.
Yeah.
Just even if it's just to talk to them.
they're going to be fair
They
and
are.
give you good information.
They are.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Tom. We'll do this again next year. Do you think you'll have $1 billion more?
I hope so. We're sitting at right now 1.4 billion pending already for next year. So that would be some of them we went out and added them for new construction, but they were only like 30 or 40% complete.
Okay.
So we added those at a percentage. But yes, we've got a lot of new permits coming in.
That's good news
Yeah.
for Spokane,
It
isn't
is.
it?
It
It
is.
really is.
Yeah.
Now, if we can just get more on the housing issue.
Right.
So people can
More
go
supply.
home from work at night.
That's right. More supply.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Continue the good job, you and your staff. I really appreciate all of you,
Thank you. I'll make sure I pass that on to them.
including the assessor who's going to come out to my. No, I'm kidding. I don't even know who it is. So, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on the Pulse of Spokane.
Starting a digging project? Before you reach for the shovel, you must click callbeforeyoudig.org, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. Protect our buried utilities and click callbeforeyoudig.org.
Hi, I'm Rod Higgins. Public safety is the first responsibility of your city council. In these troubled times, our police are vitally important, and I'll work hard to enable our police force to keep you and your community safe.
Paid for by the committee to re-elect Rod Higgins.